I'm starving, Jeff. I didn't eat breakfast today.
Then it's a good thing we're in downtown New Haven, Connecticut, Ray, because there's plenty of food options.
Now, we've been to New Haven before.
Sure.
Yale University is in New Haven. Mm-hmm. We explored the Voynich manuscript there.
Right. We didn't go to Yale as students, but we did go check out the Voynich manuscript.
We checked out the story of that New Haven ghost ship way back in episode 43.
We did, for sure.
Now, there's a lot going on in New Haven.
Absolutely. We could spend a week here and not cover everything legendary.
It's so true, which doesn't change the fact that I'm still hungry, Jeff.
Right. That. Okay, so there's a great little place we simply must try, and it's right up here on Crown Street. All right, this is the place.
Louis' Lunch, established 1895.
Ray, this controversial shop not only gave rise to a New England legend, but an American legend. We're in New Haven, Connecticut, to witness the birth of the hamburger. Hello, I'm Jeff Belanger, and welcome to episode 302 of the New England Legends podcast.
And I'm Ray Auger. Thanks for joining your townie buddies, Jeff and Ray, on a road trip through weird and wonderful New England. Each episode, we explore tales of odd history, ghosts, monsters, eccentrics, and all the other strangeness that makes this region like no other. And we're glad you're with us, too. If you've got a story you'd like to hear in a future episode, please email us through our website anytime.
We're going to feed Ray the nation's first hamburger right after this quick word from this sponsor.
Louis' Lunch is located inside a small one-story brick building here on Crown Street. There are red shutter doors on the windows that lock up when the restaurant is closed, and it's surrounded by a public parking lot. It's not a big restaurant at all.
No, it's tiny, but it packs a lot of history inside. This building has been around a long time, though this wasn't the original location. The building was moved here in the 1970s. Should we head in?
This place smells great.
Yeah.
Looks almost like an old bar inside, except behind the wooden bar, the cooks are preparing the food. There's some wooden benches for sitting around the perimeter, and tons of names carved into the wood. This place has character. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the hamburger was invented in New Haven, Connecticut?
Okay, so it depends who you believe. This story is not without its controversy, as we've said before, but in this case, our source is going to be the United States Library of Congress. And the folks here at Louis' Lunch have no intention of arguing with them.
Now, I always thought that it came from Hamburg, Germany.
Okay, so Hamburg was known for its quality cattle and meats. Centuries ago in Russia, folks considered it a delicacy to eat seasoned ground meat raw, what the French would call steak tartare. So German sailors from the port town of Hamburg brought the dish back home because they loved it so much. And the Germans used their own blended diced raw meats to make it. And the sailors named the dish after their city. Hamburger, right? But raw ground meat isn't what anyone thinks of when they think of a hamburger today.
Got it. Yeah, I think I'd pass on raw ground beef.
Right. And I think lots of other people would too. And to be fair, there are other restaurants and cities who lay claim to the world's first hamburger as we know it. But Louis' Lunch in New Haven has the backing of the Library of Congress. To find out how this tiny restaurant and its food offering became an icon, let's head back to the year 1900.
It's May of 1900. President William McKinley is in the White House. McKinley helped lead America to victory in the Spanish-American War about a year and a half ago. And he's put some tariffs in place that have proved a boon to American industry. The United States is making stuff. Workers are busy and in a hurry.
And they're hungry, too. Here in New Haven, 34-year-old Louis Lassen is hard at work preparing hot sliced beef in his food wagon. Now, Louis was born in Belanger Parish, which is Denmark, 1 year before his birth, but then became a German territory after a treaty was signed. So depending who and when you ask him, he was born in Denmark or Germany. I mean, both are kind of correct if you look at it that way. Anyway, he learned to be a blacksmith, but he was also a preacher. He came to the United States, married a girl in New York, and the couple made their way to New Haven, where Louis began selling butter and eggs from a wooden cart that he stored in the backyard of their Elliott Street home. Now, in 1895, he started adding lunch items. His wagon expanded to include broilers, and he soon started serving sliced steak.
Business is good, too. People are busy. Louis's food is tasty, and folks can get it fast. Louis uses vertical broilers to cook his meats. The grease and fat drips to the bottom, and customers get delicious, evenly cooked meat because the heat comes from both sides at once.
It's good stuff for sure. Louis also saves the trimming from his sliced beef. He chops it up into its own little kind of patty, and he has another item he can sell.
Oh, lunch crowd is picking up.
It is. It's great to see a local vendor like this doing well. I mean, Louis has his regulars, he's got people.
Louis, I'm in a rush, pal. Slap a meat puck between two planks and step on it.
I guess this guy's in a hurry to get back to work.
Louis is placing 2 slices of bread in the toaster. He's gathering up one of his cooked meat trimming patties. Okay, now he's setting the patty on the toast, and his customer is on his way munching on his lunch.
Thanks, Louis.
Other customers watch this man dash off with his sandwich.
I got to admit, looks pretty good.
It does look pretty good. And the other patrons think so too. They want the same thing. And they're not in a rush. It just looks good.
And just like that, Louis's hamburger sandwich is born.
As the weeks go by, Louis finds himself selling less sliced steak and more of these hamburger sandwiches. I mean, it's portable. It's delicious. Pretty soon, Louis adds some options. A slice of tomato, a slice of onion, or both. But served on toasted bread. Always on toasted bread.
The hamburgers are cooked medium rare. The vertical broilers that he bought in 1898 sear the outside of the burger and cook it just enough to make the inside pink. After making a few hundred of these things, he's got the timing and recipe down.
A few hundred sales turns into a few thousand over the years. Louis' lunch wagon becomes a New Haven icon.
It's 1904, and we're going to hop on the train here in New Haven and ride it all the way to St. Louis, Missouri, site of the 1904 World's Fair. There are people here from all over the world, and there are vendors of every kind. One of those vendors is a man named Fletcher Davis, who is selling meat patties on a bread bun as fast as he can make them. He says he's been selling his beef sandwiches for over 15 years now.
Now, thanks to this huge world fair, the world just got a taste of this culinary masterpiece. So, Ray, you know how when you go to a restaurant, sometimes you get a dish that's just so good, and you wish you could get the secret recipe and make it at home?
Absolutely, all the time.
Yeah, well, so here's the thing about the hamburger. The recipe ain't exactly a secret.
I guess it isn't.
No, ground meat, salt and pepper, or whatever other spices you're into. Add heat, top it with what you want, throw it between some bread.
Yeah, that's the recipe.
All right?
I guess you only have to watch a hamburger made one time and taste it to figure out how to do it yourself.
So aspiring cooks and entrepreneurs from all over the world are watching Fletcher Davis's steak sandwiches fly out of his food stall and are thinking the same thing. Anyway, we should get back to New Haven.
Back in New Haven, Louis's hamburger sandwich is as popular as ever. Folks line up at lunchtime.
After 17 years of peddling this hamburger sandwich from a wagon, it's time to expand. Louis moves into a small brick building on Crown Street that used to be a tannery, and now his vertical broilers find a permanent home. And customers are still lining up.
The recipe changes slightly as ground meat replaces sliced trimmings. Louis blends 5 different kinds of meats to make his perfect patty, and the customers keep coming.
Now, meanwhile, across the nation and around the world, more burger restaurants are popping up all over. It's 1921. In Wichita, Kansas, a cook named Walter Anderson and his business partner, Billy Ingram, open their first restaurant, making their burger patties a little differently. They end up calling their restaurant White Castle.
But back in New Haven, as years go by and the restaurant continues to be successful, Louis brings his kids into the family business. The faces may change, but the recipe and cooking technique does not.
Louis Lassen passes away March 20th, 1935. He was 69 years old. His son had been running the business for years already, and though Louis is gone, his burgers and legacy live on. And that brings us back to today. So there have been a few changes over the decades.
I can imagine there would be.
But only a few. So the burgers are still cooked in those same vertical broilers built in 1898. They've used the same savory radiant gas toaster since 1929 that toasts Pepperidge Farm breads baked just down the road in Norwalk, Connecticut. The burgers are still cooked medium rare. But in the 1960s, New Haven was being developed at a fast rate. The space where Louis' Lunch was located was marked to become a high-rise building. And just when it looked like there was nothing that could be done, just when it seemed that Louis' Lunch was going to be torn down and lost forever, The community pitched in, and the building was lifted off its foundation and moved 4 blocks up Crown Street to where it sits today.
That's incredible. I read customers donated money to help make it happen and preserve this New Haven landmark.
They did. Some even donated bricks to get the building fixed up in its new location. So anyway, back to the menu changes. In the 1950s, Ken Lassen added cheese as an option. So today your choices for your burger are cheese, sliced onion, and sliced tomato, or any combination of the 3.
That sounds perfect. Throw some lettuce, a pickle, and some ketchup in there, maybe some mayo.
Whoa, Ray. Hold on a minat.
What?
No condiments are allowed here.
Really?
Nope. Go ahead. Read that sign on the wall right there.
Look at that. It says, "This is not Burger King. You don't get it your way. You take it my way, or you don't get a damn thing."
I guess that means no condiments.
Now, I see another sign that shows a ketchup bottle with a circle and a line through it.
Right.
That same sign is on the back of some of the T-shirts the staff are wearing.
The folks here figure if you got great quality meats, you don't disguise the flavor with condiments.
Yeah, it makes sense, I guess.
Now, with your burger, they also serve potato salad, chips, homemade pie, and soft drinks. And that's it.
Simple. But really, what more would you want?
In the year 2000, U.S. Representative Rosa DeLauro pushed for legislation to officially recognize Louis Lassen as the creator of the hamburger. The Library of Congress recorded that Lassen had served America's first hamburger, and then the fighting started.
What do you mean?
Well, as soon as you make a claim like that, people are going to challenge you.
Yeah, right. I mean, Fletcher Davis from St. Louis said he'd been making these types of sandwiches since the late 1880s.
And some will die on the Hill, even today, arguing that Louis Lassen has never made a hamburger in his life.
Huh? I mean, how's that?
Well, some insist a hamburger has to be served on a bun or a roll, not sliced toast.
Oh, really? Come on.
I know, but people will argue over anything. So Louis' Lunch doesn't make too much of a fuss about claiming they were the first. I mean, I think they figure let folks argue over whatever they want. They'll just continue a family business and tradition that's become legendary in New Haven.
And now I'm hungrier than ever. Thanks, Jeff. Hey, slap a meat puck between 2 planks and step on it.
And that brings us to After the Legend. Think of this as your dessert after the meal.
After the Legend is brought to you by our Patreon patrons. Our patron community is an amazing group of people who help us out with all of our growing costs. They're like our townie community who make sure we bring you a new story each time. They get early ad-free access to each episode, plus bonus episodes and content that no one else gets to hear. Just head over to patreon.com/New England Legends to sign up. We appreciate the help and support.
So if you'd like to see some pictures of the historic Louis' Lunch, just click on the link in the episode description or go to our website and click on episode 302. Also, if you would like to hang out with Ray and I, we're having another one of our New England Legends meetups. It's going to be Wednesday, June 21st, 7 p.m. at Narragansett Brewing Company at India Point, right there in Providence, Rhode Island. The deal is you just show up, you pay for whatever you drink and whatever you eat. We're not charging anything. It's just a meetup and a hangout.
Yeah, it's unofficial. It's laid back. You know, you have your like library thing. So I was thinking about how to word this. It's not official. There's nothing official about this.
Nope.
We're just getting together. We're hanging out.
Yep.
So you come with your money. We'll come with our money. Well, you come with your money. Buy us a few drinks.
Be great.
If you want.
If you
That's
want
fine.
to. I mean, you know, you don't have to.
Bring your money for us.
Right.
No, but you bring your money. We'll bring ours. And it's just a gathering of friends.
Yep, absolutely. That's it. We've done this a couple times before. It's been fun, and we're doing it again. We want to do it sort of regularly. And our friends at Narragansett Brewing said, come on down.
Yeah.
So we're appreciative of that.
And there's a lot of cool New England history behind Narragansett.
Yeah, I mean, Mike, we'll talk. There's pictures of the Jaws movie with Quint holding the
crushing
the can.
That was a campaign for a while. Was Crush It Like Quint.
Crush It Like Quint. Yeah,
and they had people like taking pictures and videos of themselves drinking a Narragansett at a bar, crushing the can. What a great way to sell cans.
They have a limited menu. I don't believe they sell burgers.
They don't?
I don't think so. It's very limited menu.
Sliders, maybe?
I don't know. We'll have to double check. But hamburgers, like, I'm starving now, right? Like, this is...
Oh, I'm so hungry. Today is like day 1 of my diet again. And now I want a hamburger.
So these broilers are so cool, and like, so
I've seen this technique, I think, before.
So if you have sliced onion or sliced tomato, it's on the raw meat and then broiled together. So it cooks with the meat, and
the juices and flavors seep into the meat.
Yeah, and it's evenly cooked on both sides. It's pretty amazing. They use Pepperidge Farm toast, which is Pepperidge Farm is headquartered right down the road in Norwalk, Connecticut. and they serve a local soft drink. But it's such a simple menu; it's never changed. But you can't get condiments or French fries, which is crazy, right? Like
French fries go with hamburgers.
I hear you, but they don't have it. So they added cheese in the 50s because they had to, and then that's it. That's all it's been. And so, but I
don't
love
agree with the condiments. But it's their way. I get it.
That's right.
That's fine.
Right.
It's you know what it is though. It's a great marketing ploy. I think.
Yeah.
Like don't bring your own ketchup. They'll yell at you. Whatever. I think it's you bring a friend there. Oh, where's the mustard? No, they don't get it here.
Can't do it
because here's the history, and they tell the history and whatever. But
I get it.
I think it's a cool concept.
It is, and it's been around for so long. And so by the way, like I've been researching this. I think I found like 6 or 7 places that make a strong argument why they were the first hamburger. And by the way, it's not like centuries ago. I mean, it was, but think about it. Everybody loves bread.
Yeah.
Right. Lots of us like meats cooked. I mean, you have the roll next to your plate. You've got the meats on your plate. Like,
It's like the peanut butter and the chocolate argument,
They were going to get together at some point. Like, I mean, Earl of Sandwich, right? Like, I don't know. Like, there's
my guess is the meat was too hot. Well, they used to eat it raw, right? At one point, the meat was too hot. They're like, I can't hold this in my hand. And then they get some cool bread and like, oh, this is much better.
So the other thing too is like, American palates didn't want raw meat, right? Still to this day, it's tough to find steak tartare. There's also sanitary reasons. If you cook the meat, any sort of buggies or whatever get, killed off. Yeah. So keep you safer. But yeah, so, and then this past weekend was Memorial Day and I started thinking about the perfect burger.
Did you have burgers this weekend?
No, but I think I have to this weekend, like coming after
weekend.
this.
Well, every weekend you should.
Right. It's
I had the legendary burger at Legend. Well, it's originated at Legends at the Doubletree. And I had it outside at the Oasis.
How was it?
That should be a meetup for us, by the way.
Okay.
Soon. It was delicious. It's what is it? Aioli cheese.
Yeah.
We had,
or aioli mayo.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Instead of cheese, so it was just the burger spiced or however they make it, which is delicious on its own. The mayo and onion rings, and that was it. That's the legendary burger.
Sounds delicious. Yeah. The beautiful thing about the hamburger or cheeseburger, right, is it's you really can do anything you want to.
Absolutely.
And it's magnificent. Like
it's a blank canvas.
What it is, and you're the artist, and whatever you're into, like if you're like, oh, I want it spicy and Cajun, do it, right? I used to make one. It was the heart stopper, right? So you took crumbled blue cheese.
Oh, I love blue cheese.
Crumbled it into the meat.
I've done it.
You take bacon, half cooked.
Oh.
You can't fully cook it because it'll burn.
Yeah.
You can't have it raw; it won't get cooked enough.
Right.
Half cooked, mixed crumbled into the meat. Right, salt and pepper, and then you. Oh, God.
So that's not the two patties smashed together. You're actually putting that
all into the meat.
The mix.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I have to try that.
And then you grill it, and then do whatever you lettuce, tomato, pickles, whatever you're feeling.
And blue cheese is good because it doesn't really melt like other cheeses.
Right.
So it kind of stays intact.
Stays in there. Yeah. So that's the heart stopper.
I love that.
But and then I've heard the song "Cheeseburger in Paradise" this weekend. Jimmy Buffett, and like a whole song was written about like how magical. There's few foods that are just absolute icons, right?
Yeah.
Pizza, burgers,
right?
Wings, hot dogs. Yeah. Like a few things, and you're just like, it's so cliche.
Yeah.
And I hate cliches. But I couldn't live without any one of those things.
Well, like you said, there was a song written by it. There's no song. Well, there was an artist named Meatloaf, but
that's right.
No song about Meatloaf.
Yeah, like and name one song about quiche.
Right,
right.
I'm sure there's one out there.
Quiche
but
is the word. Is the word. No, that wasn't it. That was a different song. But you know what I mean? Like, no one's like been so inspired. Like, I love quiche so much that give me my guitar. I feel the muse is with me. Like, let's do this.
What kind of roll do you like?
So here's the thing: you can, if it's too big and like rolly,
right? Yeah,
it's not ideal.
Brioche. I love the brioche.
I need just enough. By the way, sorry, our friends at Louis Lunch. I wouldn't care for it on toast.
No, not on toast.
Not enough for me.
The problem is with toast is you can rip up the roof of your mouth and burn it if it's too hot.
Sure.
Right. So I think a cool piece of bread is the best. Nothing that's really too heated.
Yeah.
Because then it just ruins the rest of the meal. So you have to be careful. The first bite is basically you're getting most of the bread in your mouth. So you have to be careful what kind of bread you choose.
This episode is going to be controversial. Number one, there's going to be people saying the first burger was at my grandpa's.
That's okay. We've already said that it might be.
Yeah, that's okay. But please post in the comments how you do yours.
Yeah.
Like what's your chef's kiss perfect burger?
I like barbecue sauce.
Sure.
I'll put that on there.
It's a mood.
I have my burger different every time.
Yeah. Right.
Have you ever had egg on your burger?
Yes.
What is it? The farmer's burger or something?
Yep. I have had, but there's sandwich shops I know with if you want a fried egg on top of whatever you're getting, it doesn't have to be a burger. They'll add it. If
That's
you want
interesting.
That. Yeah. Takes it to a different place. Then it's, you know what? That's the burger for breakfast.
Yeah, there you go. That's an excuse to eat a burger for breakfast.
10 a.m. Sure. Yeah, I want an egg on it. So now
an egg on it.
Now it's not weird.
Bacon? Come on. It's basically a breakfast.
This is breakfast sandwich. Totally. That makes sense. No, there's no wrong thing.
No.
That's amazing.
I think we should have some kind of burger cook-off this summer at one of our houses and try to develop the best burger we can. Or take someone's recipe from a suggestion and build a legendary burger. Oh, that's what we need. We need the official New England Legends burger. So you guys tell us what that is.
My buddy Dave and I, Dave Frater, who's done voices for us, we were at a restaurant once. We were in Seattle, and we were like, oh, I want a burger. And I'm like, you know what else would be good? Like a hot pastrami sandwich. And we were like, oh, yeah, that sounds really good. And then the waiter came up and I'm like, could you make a burger and put hot pastrami on it with cheese? And they're like, absolutely.
Yeah.
And we were like, and by the way, as good as you think that sounds, it was better.
Better, yeah.
It was amazing. So
you got me thinking.
Burger with hot pastrami and cheese. Apologies to our vegan friends out there. Ray and I are just not.
No, we're not talking about bean burgers today or whatever you guys are eating.
Sorry. Tried to amend my carnivorous habits, as Jimmy Buffett said, but sometimes nothing else will do.
Hey, we need your help. First, make sure you subscribe to our podcast wherever you get your podcasts because it's free. Then post a review for us. Those reviews go a long way in helping others find us. And then help spread the word. Tell a friend or two about our show or post your favorite episode on your social media. That's how we grow.
We'd like to thank Marv Anderson for lending his voice acting talent this week. Thank you to our Patreon patrons, and our theme music is by John Judd.
Until next time, remember,
the bizarre is closer than you think.